Hey, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with another trolling episode. Now, this is going to be the last trolling episode, which has exactly this format and exactly this lineup, because we can never exactly stay the same and just rest on our laurels and keep doing the same thing over and over again. We got to change it up and make it new. We're going to make it new because OCPoetry, as everybody knows, has been rolling out this new way of doing stuff. And there's going to be this, there already is, in fact, active, this workshop flare. And the workshop flare is means you can get more in-depth feedback right here on the OC if you're interested. What I'd like to do is I'd like to be your ombudsman, your backstop, your appeal, where if you feel like you posted a workshop poem and you're not getting the feedback you were hoping to get, come DM me. Let me know what you expected out of the workshop, what you got and what you didn't get. And I can get your back in a trolling video. We can look at some of the workshop comments together and I can give you my own ideas, my own take on what's going on in your poems. If you send me something that isn't a workshop poem, it had better be really good. Let's put it that way, because that's going to be a kind of rough and ready opportunity for you to be like, hey, shower some praise on me. And if it's not praiseworthy, I'm just either not going to cover it or I'm going to shred it. Because there's other avenues for you guys to get some feedback that are really, 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 really high quality. Okay. So there's just a couple of news as well that I want to cover. Devin Brock, Bootstrap 17, has a piece forthcoming in Two River. He actually has a pair of pieces coming out forthcoming in Two River. When that's live, I'll let you guys know, or you guys can just go and hit the old refresh there, or you can DM Bootstrap 17. And certainly give him a congrats. One of the pieces we talked about on the channel is part of that, part of his acceptance. So congrats, Devin. Nick Rajagopalan, friend of the channel, guy who's pinged me. We've chatted. Good buddy, Nick. He said my feedback was helpful, and he has a wonderful guzzle published in Volition, so you can go check that out. That's available online. And what's cool there is I don't know that much, I know the basics of a guzzle. My advice to him was, go talk to your creative writing prof. They get paid the big bucks. All the same, big congrats to Nick. All right, let's get on with the show here. Just so you know, this is Nick's appearance in Volition. Here's the Volition mag. You can page through it. So I think this is all you guys need to know. Fun stuff. Okay. People be DMing me. Some people come correct. I try to help whoever I can help. If they're, seriously applying themselves, if they have sincerity in their poetic practice. Let's take a look at Affectionate Piano. You stand like a man with wealth and time, fucking the blue-black sky with your twisted wrists and your many protruding thumbs. So I think we can kind of pause there. So I'm trying to wonder what standing like a man with wealth and time would be. Why not show us how they're actually standing? Or just take that out, or state what they are. You, a man with wealth and time, screw the blue-black sky with your twisted wrists. But I'm not sure. Many protruding thumbs. So this is a kind of phantasmagoria to open here. I don't know. I would like to say that I'm open to different ideas. I just feel like I want to steer people well clear of kind of juvenilia, and just making crazy difficult to follow poems. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this poem speaks to someone. Maybe this resonates very deeply with someone. But for me, I would like a poem to have a clear proposal and agenda in terms of what it's trying to achieve and what effects it's working towards. And the use of the surreal, grotesque, and cosmically absurd here doesn't add up to anything aesthetically valuable yet to me. Okay, let's just leave it there. Mrs. Crunch and I had some great back and forths. I think they're trying to just cut their teeth and get into poetry a little bit. Again, for total newcomers, I feel like rather than me covering your poetry on the OC, maybe it'd be better for you to listen to the channel, for you to read some more poetry. Chat with me a little bit about what your goals are. I feel like when we jump right into covering your channel, I risk turning you off something beautiful and wonderful, which I don't really want to do. I don't want to be like, well, this just sucks, because then you're not going to write anymore. Or at least you're going to disengage from getting and receiving criticism and trying to improve. You're going to kind of unplug from that. So that's not something I want to do. Single ply quilted northern cuts deeper than stainless steel scalpel. Okay. Red streaks like Carolina Reapers steal my breath. Pillowy squares white as eggshells only serve to show the contrast of my loss again. Okay, so I remember this piece. Yeah, so I looked at this and I was like, what's going on here? Is the blood on the toilet paper. So this is clearly, someone finding their menstruation, a woman finding their menstruation, presumably hoping for pregnancy and not finding that. That would be my my guess. It could also be a failed pregnancy. Or an issue in a pregnancy that's not. Those are two possibilities for me. I'm inclined toward the second take a little bit more. That this would be a problem in pregnancy. That this is a loss of that unborn child, of a potential child. I think if that's the case, cuts deeper than a stainless steel scalpel. This image of a kind of a surgical operation, of a surgical abortion. I don't know. And then from there, which actually is kind of bold, so could be interesting. Then to go from Carolina Reapers. The Reapers there, what I like is the Grim Reaper thing, but I think it could be a little bit flippant, given the topic. Now, it could be the emotional distance and pain of the speaker wants to make things funny. The eggshells again have that a more kind of pushing away the emotional relatedness of it. Eggshell white is something which is often used to describe paint. I'll have the eggshell white paint. So it's a very neutral, kind of almost industry way to describe a whiteness. And then these last lines only serve to contrast my loss again. I'm not sure that's entirely needed, but we might want some indicator of the depth of the loss. But do we need to know that it contrasts? The poem's already showing us that contrast. I don't think this is a bad effort, Crunch. I think this is potentially very good, if this tone is intended. I think that the cuts, single ply quilted northern cuts, it's not the toilet paper that's doing the cutting. So I think what's interesting is this kind of mock humor opening that then goes a very different direction. It's not at all funny, but I think literally the toilet paper isn't cutting. It's the presence of the blood on the toilet paper that cuts. So I don't know. I don't know how if that needs to be resolved or should it be resolved. I think this is probably relatively close in my mind to publication strength in terms of the amplitude of the emotion and the control of the lines. I think some of the imagery selection here, especially the eggshells and the Carolina Reaper, could be something to consider tuning. And the stainless steel scalpel, again, these are kind of received language terms, like almost like catalogs. And if that's all by design, I don't know. If that's all by design, then that's kind of fucking brilliant. Ending, contrast of my loss again. I don't know. Ending ends up explaining the poem a little bit, which I think might be necessary for people to catch it, but I'm not sure. Strong, pretty strong. Old friend of the channel. I hope still a friend of the channel. MT. We've done a lot of their poetry. Very, very ambitious, very talented, very ambitious, and if I can disclose, relatively young. So just a lot upside. It's different. I look at things differently when someone is showing a lot of promise kind of earlier on. That means they have a lot of opportunity to put together a different portfolio, to assemble all the different portfolio of skills you're going to need to be a great poet. I think MT is kind of well on their way. Let's just have a quick look in here. Even here, this landlocked vantage, I can see the rock hemmed by waves, the flashing navy glass, Pacific salinity, and dread. Oh, let's set this title, Ariel. It's another one of these parenthetical things after the title, which I don't really like that. And MT does that a lot, and fine. It's just like Ariel parentheses is diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome by proxy. That's packing in all of this qualifiers in a parenthetical. Seems way, way, way too big an ask of the reader. Maybe put as a subtitle. Is Ariel, are we talking about the Ariel from Shakespeare's The Tempest? That's my assumption. But Shakespeare's The Tempest doesn't have an Ariel diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome, which I had to look up. So by proxy? What the fuck? Why put by proxy in there? What the fuck? You're too good for this. Why sabotage your work with this stuff? Why make it hard for the reader? Just state what you're trying to do. Ariel the hypochondriac, or whatever it is. Munchausen syndrome is some type of thing where you think you're sick or you try to convince other people. I don't even know. And the proxy thing is absurd. Even here, this landlocked vantage, I can see the rock hemmed by waves. Strong opening and situates us into Shakespeare's The Tempest, which takes place on an island. The flashing navy glass, Pacific salinity, and dredged sand spread across shoulders. Good. You can feel that, right? The hands cut by ragged brown algae. My mother standing with her pelican neck bleeding and breasts gnawed into blowhole. Okay, a little lost there. Oh, mother, I left you there on God's abandonment? Is that where The Tempest takes place, on God's abandonment? The oceanic pin drop, depthless basement? What basement? Your feet split by abalone and blistering volcano basalt. You, my mother, head below water, dive divine, the abyssal wounds. Abyssal's a little much. Gangrel and garrote, that's good. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Jeez, I'm just like, just filthy with talent as always. MT, just really you have a very, very strong intuitive sense of cadences, rhythm, and music. The alliteration is always strong. You know, I don't know. Just like look at how MT uses hemmed by waves. That's just a nice idea. It shows this understand. It's treating. It's more sensual to treat that the ocean's meeting with the shore as a kind of a fabric that's hemmed. Dredge sand spread across the shoulders, just so immediate and beautiful. And you can feel, like I said, you can feel it. I lose a little bit. Hands cut by ragged brown algae. Maybe. I guess that's possible. I think you can do that. Yeah, I think you can get a little. Those algae have like they have some type of stuff in them that can irritate the skin. Yeah, I did that as a kid. So that's pretty sharp. My mother's standing with her pelican egg bleeding, and this is where I'm losing the poem. And I think a lot of this is just kind of, refine the title and the opening. I love the even here, this landlocked vantage. I love that, but who is the I? Who is speaking? Is it Ariel who's speaking? Keep at it, MT. Keep at it. Give us some try. Take a risk, MT. Take a real risk. The biggest risk of your poetic career. And the risk is be direct. The risk is use all of your power of description on something concrete that the reader can immediately understand and focus on. Shakespeare's Ariel mourns X. Shakespeare's Ariel, the motherless spirit of Prospero. I don't know what you're trying to do, but tell us what you're trying to do and then execute, and I guarantee you, you will have a poem that is published and published well. And if not, you tell me where you sent it, and I'll eat a fucking hat. This is close, but you're sabotaging yourself with this stuff. This is just not as effective as it could be. Line up your shot, MT. Careful now. You can demand background and excellence of your reader. You can demand a reader who's read Shakespeare. Fair. Line up your shot. Take your shot, and you will be rewarded. I am relatively certain. In fact, willing to bet a hat on it. Oh, new moose balls. People say moose balls hitting his stride again, so let's have a look. I didn't comment on this one. On half words and bitten lips, we swim as one creature with two heads. From one bridge to the next, through a mackerel sky. Okay. The whole world nests in drying hair. The tying of a shoelace, a silhouette in the folds of a white dress, and red beads on white legs from the brambles, and dark stains on fingers from berries, too good for a Tupperware box. That's a good line. Too good for a Tupperware box. That's good. In a sun trap by the water's edge, they burst with no protest at the lightest touch and the taste. The taste is mixed with salt and sweet copper, as if for the first time. I don't need the refrain at the end. But overall, I would say this is pretty successful. I don't know. One creature with two heads I could live without. On half words and bitten lips, from one bridge to the next, through a mackerel sky, the whole world nests in drying hair. So I might get rid of that. I don't know. Red beads on white legs. I have a hard time completely seeing what that is. Is it like a garter belt or something like that? I don't know. From the brambles. Red beads on white legs from the brambles. Does that mean that means you guys are charging around through bushes and ripped up your legs? If so, that's interesting, but maybe invert then and give us the from the brambles. The brambles give us red beads on white legs. That would give the reader more opportunity to get that the first time through. And dark stain on fingers from berries. Yeah, I like the too good for a Tupperware box. It's nice. It's good. Good. Let's see what we can do here. I think we've done let's do it. Let's gold it. It's good. It's a strong piece. Nice, Nigel. Himanamanumunumu. Tragedy prevented. The boiler, ripped and mangled, gulps back its burst stream restored. The smokestack lifts itself from the port bow. Amnesic. Snatched from flight, the pilot's pug lands and shakes off flecks of fire. Blood runs into the boilerman's wounds. Booze spurts foamy from his mouth. He shrinks into a homunculus, then a sperm, and with blazing marksmanship disejaculates into his father. And we get the idea. I would think, right, this tragedy prevented. So I think that let's stay in the lyric moment. The boiler, ripped and mangled, gulps back its burst steam. So this is an accident on a ship. Perhaps, or an attack on a ship. Let's stay in that moment. Let's not go all the way back to conception. I mean, let's stay in the lyric instant. There's a Matt Rasmussen poem about his father's suicide and how he has to clean off his dad's car where his dad killed himself, and sell it. And it operates with the same conceit of kind of playing it in reverse. But it focuses only on that moment, only on the cleaning of the car, and then the undoing of the suicide, as if the cleaning of the car could undo this suicide, which is then holding us in fascination with this lyric moment, holding us in fascination of the speaker's relationship to the beloved. There is no speaker's fascination with anything besides explosion here. I think the language is relatively tight and controlled, so hosannas to you for that. Hanamanamanazu. But I really do think in order to go from a baseline of linguistic achievement to full lyric poem success, we need to give the reader a reason to care. And this ends with this kind of throwaway, well, you would have died somewhere else anyway, I think. We need to know, the reader needs to know why they should be invested in this situation. And that typically involves the speaker's emotional interest in what's happening. That's all I got for you people today. Nice work, Moose. Great poem. And we'll do things a little bit differently next time. So I'll look out for y'all on Reddit or comment down below. Have a great one, folks.